everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen Cho.
And I'm Cameron Word.
We're going to have fun today.
What?
Because it's a day at the amusement park.
Yeah, part 2.
Part 2. So, Cameron, recently you went to a very, very high place.
I did.
You did, right?
Yes. It was not an amusement park.
It wasn't.
It was beside an amusement park.
It was.
But it was a tower very high up in Chamshi.
So when you told me that you are a big fan of amusement parks, I thought, I can see he'll be all right. But I thought, gosh, that's really high. You know? It
was 555 meters in the air.
Oh my goodness.
I believe.
Oh dear.
So like over half a kilometer in the air.
Wow.
And I was filming.
Uh-huh.
So if I had gone up there and like walked across the bridge and gone down, I would have been fine. I had to stand up there for like 30 minutes. Because they had to record things.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a great experience, and I'm not afraid of heights.
Yeah, you're not afraid of heights.
I'm not really afraid of heights, but after a while, it gets a little scary.
I think you would get a little dizzy after a while.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we are not going so high today, but we are going to the amusement park. And one of the things about amusement parks these days are the lines.
Yes.
You know, I waited 3 hours in line. That tower that you went to, the amusement park, the L Amusement Park.
L Amusement Park.
3 hours to get on a roller coaster.
Yeah. Well, nowadays, when you go to an amusement park, you gotta know how to use your Fast Pass.
Yeah.
You get on your phone and you make the reservations.
That's right. Pay a little extra.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You gotta map out your strategy for the day.
It's true.
It is quite, it is work.
It is like strategy.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay. So if you have no room to breathe, are you really like, you can't breathe?
In this case, no. Physically, you could say maybe you're really tight in an elevator and you have no room to breathe.
Yes.
But here you're saying in your schedule, you have no extra time. You have to follow that schedule exactly.
Okay. How about if you check with someone?
If you're checking with someone, you're confirming with them. Often you have an idea and you're saying, hey, is this okay? Can we do this?
Yeah, you're checking with them. Okay. And how about this? You know something like the back of your hand.
This is actually a bad expression.
Why?
Because it's supposed to mean you know something really, really well.
Yes.
However, I don't know the back of my hand that well.
Well, I mean, we don't always look at the back of our hand, do we?
Yeah.
Right?
So I don't know why we use this expression, but it means you know something very, very well.
Okay, let's go ahead and listen to our amusement park dialogue.
These VIP passes are amazing. We just walked right in. Look at the lines at the gate.
Wow. There's no room to breathe for the people waiting to buy a ticket.
I checked with a friend who came last week. He said these passes are legit. No lines for any rides.
That's incredible. Now we can ride everything.
Yep. And since I know this place like the back of my hand, we won't get lost looking for the next roller coaster to ride.
Then let's not waste any time.
Okay, please join us on page 50, A Day at the Amusement Park. Let's begin. Abel says, these VIP passes are amazing. We just walked right in. Look at the lines at the gate. Okay, I hear that they cost a pretty penny, these VIP passes.
Yeah,
they're very expensive.
Like $3,000. No, seriously.
Really?
They're like really expensive. Or like you can even get not just the VIP pass, but you can get like someone to stay with you the entire day. like, and escort you around.
No, you can get an escort
Yeah,
like
it's like
that?
$10,000 or something.
No.
But like super rich people in the U.S., when they go to the amusement park, they buy these super expensive passes.
That is
so they don't have to wait 3 hours.
That's like cheating.
And they get into all the secret restaurants. Because there's like hidden restaurants
No.
and hidden clubs inside the amusement park.
Oh my gosh, this is like, wow. Okay. Well,
You know,
all right.
if you're rich, the world opens up to you.
My goodness.
Right?
All right. Agnes says, well, there's no room to breathe for the people waiting to buy a ticket. Okay. When Agnes says there's no room to breathe, okay. Is this literally you have no room to breathe?
Here, it does feel a little like the literal physical sense.
Yes.
They're in a line and they are tightly packed in there.
That's right.
Waiting to get their tickets.
And if you've got people in front of you, behind you, next to you, in summer, it can feel a little claustrophobic.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, 숨 막혀요.
All that body heat.
All the body heat.
Ugh.
So they have those water sprays.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it really...
The misters.
The
yeah.
misters. So, so if this is a literal no room to breathe, meaning there's not enough space to breathe, you feel very like you can't really breathe. Could you use this in a figurative sense? Like not in the literal sense?
Right. Here, I mean, you could talk about, like we said before, the schedule. Your schedule is so packed that you couldn't do anything.
Right, right.
Or maybe you're in a strict environment. You're so stressed, you're afraid to do something wrong. So you don't feel like you can move.
Right.
Or you'll do something wrong.
That's right. There's no room to breathe.
There's no room to breathe.
Like you can't do it like this. It's like you got to stick to the rules.
Yeah, my boss is so strict.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So what does Abel say?
I checked with a friend who came last week. He said these passes are legit. No lines for any rides.
Okay. So when Abel says, I checked with a friend, this could be a little confusing because we have a lot of words like check out, double check. We talked about those words. But check with someone.
Yes.
Okay. That's the expression.
Check here means to confirm. So here he calls up his friend and says, hey, I know you got those VIP passes. How were they?
Yeah.
Were they good?
Yeah.
The friend's like, yeah, they're really good. You should definitely pay them.
Yeah.
So that is
that was like
checking
Kermit.
with your friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was Kermit.
Thank you.
Kermit, yeah. Okay, so Legit is our power vocab. And the original word is legitimate. And we shortened it to legit.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is legit?
Yes. So originally the word legitimate means real.
Yes.
Not fake.
That's right.
However, is it my generation? Did you say this in your generation?
I'm not sure.
At least the millennials and later, this word legit means like awesome, amazing, super good.
Okay.
So if you can say that these passes are legit, meaning these are really good. You're going to love them.
That's right.
But you can also talk about with food. Man, this burger is legit.
Legit. Aha! Yeah.
Or even you see a beautiful landscape and you're like, wow, this view is legit. Very casual.
Yes.
Very slangy. But anyone, maybe 40 and under would definitely use this word.
Yeah, I've heard it used before too. Okay. So basically, his friend is saying, well, these passes are amazing. And Agnes says, that's incredible. Now we can ride everything. So that's incredible is our power pattern today.
I think as Americans, we often always hear, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But we have other words we
That's
can use.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. We can use the word incredible.
Yes, we do actually use this word a lot. Sometimes it's like, that's incredible, meaning like, oh, it's the same thing as amazing.
Yeah. That's incredible.
It's hard to believe. It's so good. It's hard to believe.
Yeah. I would say if you use the word incredible, you really mean it. If you use a word like, that's awesome, I don't know if you mean
Yeah.
it.
It has more weight That's incredible has a little bit more weight.
Wow, that's incredible.
Wow, like you're really genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really feel like that.
You feel it. But if someone says, "Oh, that's awesome," it could just be like,
I don't know if you mean it.
Nah. What does Abel say?
Yep, and since I know this place like the back of my hand, we won't get lost looking for the next roller coaster to ride.
So Abel knows this amusement park really well because he says, I know this place like the back of my hand.
Yeah. We often use this for places that we've been to it so many times that we don't have to look at a map.
Yeah.
We know what is there.
Yeah.
We know how to go to different places.
Yeah.
You know this place like the back of your hand.
And I have to say that was kind of for me, the amusement park in Los Angeles. Because I went there so many times. I knew where Small World was.
You could
Space
close
Mountain.
your eyes and just walk there.
I knew where Space Mountain was. Okay. All right. And Agnes says, then let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and listen to that dialogue one more time.
These VIP passes are amazing. We just walked right in. Look at the lines at the gate.
Wow, there's no room to breathe for the people waiting to buy a ticket.
I checked with a friend who came last week. He said these passes are legit. No lines for any rides.
That's incredible. Now we can ride everything.
Yep. And since I know this place like the back of my hand, we won't get lost looking for the next roller coaster to ride.
Then let's not waste any time.
It's time for Power Note. We're on pages 52 and 53. Okay, let's look at some example sentences. No room to breathe, which means that it's so crowded, there's so many people that it's hard to relax or literally breathe.
Yes.
It's so crowded here. How are you feeling?
Honestly, there's no room to breathe. I need a break from all this noise.
Yeah.
Oof.
The kids were playing so loudly, there was no room to breathe in the living room.
So it is important here. I think the first example we gave, physically, so many people.
Right.
The second one with the kids playing so loudly, it's like there's so much noise.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. So this isn't a physical lack of space. It's more of an emotional, psychological lack of space.
And that's a good point because depending on the context, it could be physical, but then it can also be, emotional.
Yeah.
So this is also a very common thing in relationships when one person says, I just have no room to breathe. What are they saying?
They're saying, you are always focused on me.
Yeah, you're always
relax.
in my face.
Yeah. I need some distance from you.
Right. I feel, and oftentimes people say I feel suffocated, or it's suffocating in this relationship.
Yeah, meaning you can't breathe.
Right.
Yeah. You're giving me too much attention, essentially.
Yeah, sometimes too much is not good.
You can also use this for certain types of performances. I think of an action movie where it's action, 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 action. And there's just too much action.
Yeah.
And you have no time to stop and understand the story.
That's true.
You would be saying there's no room to breathe.
To breathe, because it's one after another.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Check with someone means to ask someone for their permission or opinion. Can we change the schedule?
I'll check with the others and let you know.
Okay. Check with my boss. Check with my supervisor. Check with our PD or check with my mom.
Check with PD, that's a good one.
Yeah, we got to check with our PD.
We always
can't
do that.
Yeah, always. Or we'll get fired. You should check with Sarah before making the final decision. How about this? When you're in a relationship, especially in a marriage, I got to check with my wife or I got to check with my husband. Yeah?
Yeah.
You can't make those big decisions on your own.
Unless it's the wedding. I feel it's so really funny. If the man wants to make a choice for the wedding, he always has to check with the bride.
Yes.
Right? But it doesn't go the other way around.
It's kind of like, I feel like a wedding, it is the woman's day in some ways. It's like her fairy tale.
Yeah, the man is the accessory.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Not always. Not every couple.
Not every couple, but everybody needs to check with the bride to be.
Yep.
Okay. So, whenever you need permission or you need someone's opinion, and usually it is a person that is important or has some authority.
Yes.
Okay? All right. Know something like the back of one's hand means to know something really, really well. Okay. Where should we go on the hike?
I know this area like the back of my hand. Let's head to the waterfall.
Okay, very good. So you know an area, a certain location like the back of your hand. Okay? She knows the best restaurants in town like the back of her hand. Maybe she's a foodie.
Yeah.
You know, she goes around to all the restaurants, hot restaurants, maybe little small hole in the wall, little restaurants that people don't know.
She's like that insider. She's in the know.
She's in the know. What else can you know like the back of your hand?
So you could know a computer program like the back of your hand?
Not me.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
But like if you're a computer programmer, maybe you designed the program, so you would know it like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
Maybe you worked in a factory for 25 years, so you know the factory floor like the back of your hand.
Yeah. I tell you, my mom was a seamstress, and she knew that sewing machine like the back of her hand.
Yeah, if there was a problem, she knew how to fix it.
She knew how to fix it. No problem.
You know, I saw someone put thread into a sewing machine one time.
Honey.
And it is more complicated than I thought it would be.
It is actually very complicated. I used to spend some summers doing that. Just that. Changing
the thread. You have to attach it in like 12 different places.
You gotta put it through a loop and then like this and it's very complicated.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It isn't.
All right. That's incredible means, wow, you're very impressed and also it's amazing at the same time. That's incredible. He scored 3 goals in 5 minutes.
That would be incredible. That's incredible. I've never seen a boat that big before.
Yeah. So as you can see from these examples, it's not just that it's amazing or awesome, but there is that element of surprise. Like, wow.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yes. Incredible literally means unbelievable.
That's it.
Right? It's another word for unbelievable. So there is an extra surprise element with
Yes,
this.
that's right. Okay. Power vocab is the word legit. Okay? It's a slang for legitimate, meaning it's real, authentic, it's like awesome, great. Do check out the definition on page 54 and please stop by.
오디오와 학당.
Okay.
It's legit.
It is so legit.
It is.
For just such a small amount of money every month. Okay, so do sign up. And please join us live at 6 p.m. on
Evening special.
Okay, see you soon. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.